Hi, I'm Dan Faber with We the People of Glavin County. And we've got Kelly Miller and Tom Dunn of We the People of Glavin County. And they've come in to give us an update on the Ridge Road Mudbog lawsuit going on in our county, which has got quite a bit of attention. So Kelly, where are we at right now with that?
We've sent in our interrogatories in summary disposition. We've got an answer to the summary disposition. It wasn't much. We're putting, they're putting it in facilitation now, which is a third party coming in to look at both sides of the story and say, okay, you're right over
Like
here.
mediators coming
Yeah.
It's not really a mediation. It's
Right,
facilitation,
mediation,
utilizing another local attorney someplace within the jurisdiction of the courts that will sit and listen to what the other two attorneys have to say and try to facilitate an answer or to come up with a reason why this lawsuit is going on, or what the arguments are on both sides, and try to figure out where it's going and if it should go anymore. Although they do not have the power to stop the lawsuit. Only the county can do that by a vote of the board and a stipulation to stop this mess that they got themselves into.
So at this point, you've had no correspondence saying that they're going to stop the lawsuit?
Nope.
Not at this point?
No.
And you've got some recent correspondence, and can you explain what this means? What is this called? It's called a motion to strike?
Yeah, they're filing a motion to strike our defense, basically saying that a land patent don't hold up to any exemptions from law or color of law. So it's been interesting. It's they don't want us to fight on a federal level. Obviously, they say we have no defense. Even under their zoning categories and stuff, there's nothing in black and white saying that we're breaking any laws.
That was my next question.
You know,
Have they told you what laws you've broken?
No, it's misuse of zoning is the only thing we've heard.
And it says in the zoning rules, it says may apply, all right, not shall. May means that you might, or you can if you want to, or you don't have to. But may means may, shall means you must. So there is a difference there. And in the motion that was just received, which is the motion to strike, which was kind of interesting in the county's response, is that the only thing that they're asking to remove as a defense is that the county doesn't have a monetary or proprietary or contractual interest. And I know that Kelly has sent in some FOIAs and asked the county if they had a monetary, proprietary, contractual interest, and also the townships. And so what did we get back?
Well, we got the FOIA request right here. It says the county does not make the claim to own the lands you describe, and you are the person who is in possession to the best information available. They hold up.
So when you say monetary, proprietary, contractual interest, what they're saying is there's nothing written in the files that would give them any kind of interest in the property by contract, by monetary hold, like a lien.
Correct?
No contracts whatsoever.
Nothing. They have absolutely nothing in their files.
No township, none from the county.
And another interesting thing in the brief that accompanied the motion to strike, which is the brief in response to summary disposition and in support of the county's defense, is that the county indicated that they had an exhibit in here, and it was called Exhibit 3, and it's a quitclaim deed. And this quitclaim deed is referenced as being filed, which is a legal document, being filed to 3/30/2009. Now, to the best of my recollection and receiving documents from the Register of Deeds, the latest was 6/4 of 2013 when a bill of sale was issued. So the county doesn't even have the correct documents issued within their summary disposition, which is a rather interesting situation, or whether, who knows what he's trying to do here.
Another interesting thing I found with all the paperwork through the county attorney was the spelling.
The spelling?
The spelling. As funny as it sounds, it is pretty bad. I mean, we got paperwork right here from FOIA request that, we wanted to know what Jacobson was making out of this, what the county attorney was making.
So what we're paying our county attorney?
Right. We wanted to know what we're paying.
What are we paying, Doug?
It says $975 a month for all county services. Now, that ain't labor. They have a separate attorney here in the same paperwork, Employment Revelations Advisors. And what we found out so far through the FOIAs is upon the $975 a month that he has received, he's also received $150 just for filing this paperwork here, which is the summons and complaint to initiate the lawsuit. And, that's questionable there too.
So you're going to the wages for our county attorney.
Yep.
Do you know what he's been paid to date on your case?
Right now, just his normal retainer at $975 and an additional $150.
Okay. And that's per month.
As it's been said to me, he hasn't dinged the county yet, so basically he hasn't sent him in a bill yet. So, and after pre-trial, it does cost more.
Okay.
It costs us, the taxpayers, more money.
You could probably be on the hook for
Right.
an hourly recharge rate.
Right, and during the first meeting, I sent a mediator in. I didn't go into the first meeting, and the attorney clearly stated that he had no problem taxing $75 an hour, and every time he even seen the file that said Miller Mudbog. That was an hour's work right there, just seeing that tab.
Of course, I recall, though, that in that conversation, Kelly, that you had indicated that that's what you were going to have to pay if
Yes.
he went in and had to do
Yes.
this. Kind of a threat.
Yeah, it was a threat. I took it as a threat. I won't say it outright. I took it as a threat. I mean, you're trying to control my land, and this all started, oh, geez. We started having bogs in '99. We'll just get a quick rundown here. That was '99, 2000-ish, and it grew. It grew. It did. And we were having a bog every Easter weekend, and it got brought to our attention in 2010 from one of the neighbors that, it's getting out of hand, and, we didn't think too much about it.
So you had quite a few people there, so people
Oh,
were
yeah,
misbehaving.
yeah, it happens, so since 2010, we got a complaint in 2010 shortly after the discussion with the neighbors, and me and my wife decided that, it was a headache, we're gonna tone it back a bit, quit doing the Easter weekends, and, just kind of play it by ear, keep them smaller, more local.
And that was back in 2010?
Yeah, yep,
So you've been doing this for 11 years,
yeah, oh yeah,
up to that point?
oh yeah.
Okay.
Yep. And we let the complaint just kind of ride in 2010. We ain't had that many people, it's been laid back. There hasn't been no incidences, no complaints.
Was there any
However-
correspondence with the county up to that, from 99 to 2010? Was there any kind of?
No, nothing. 2010 was when the first complaint was filed. Other than, you get calls, people freak out, a lot of people in an area call the sheriff's department, oh, this is going on, that's going on. Our sheriff Shay's been out there, plenty of officers have been out there, and it's been said at the county commissioner level and the planning commissioner level that every time we've been to a commission office, Sheriff Shay's been there, and he has said there's no criminal activity.
I recall that I was there, and he hasn't been in support of this due to
No.
no criminal activity, and it's private
Right.
property. So I appreciate him taking that stance about it.
And he was really not in support of this paper. This is this is what actually started the lawsuit here is Officer Goss,
And who's that?
one of our sheriff's department employees, one of the deputies, showed up out there. He had pulled a young man in over going down the road. The guy obviously tried to get away and darted in the driveway. They pulled him over in the driveway. Well, he filed a police report about the bog. This had nothing to do with the person he pulled over, other than it says he pulled somebody over in the driveway and, you know, people were watching him, and then he talked with my wife and me briefly. And you know, this is where we're finding that this lawsuit fully starts with was a police report over a mud bug that nobody knows why there was a report made over
But
it.
it was a traffic stop
Right, that was a traffic stop.
report.
Had nothing
And then
to
it
do
just started
with,
talking about the Mudbog and started
Yeah.
the traffic report. Okay.
which that in turn led to a fun little experience. We were having a little get together and we had a search warrant served on us. It's a private party, yep. Private party, had a lot of people present. I think you were even present for a little while that day.
Although that was the, yep.
Yeah. In the afternoon hours, about 1, 2 o'clock. Well, actually, it might have been a little later than that. I'd have to really look. Sheriff's department showed up, 2 cars, 2 officers, and wanted pictures.
So the warrant was drawn, signed by, or initiated
Magistrate,
by the magistrate.
yep, the
There's
magistrate
Mr.
signed it.
Greer,
The magistrate is Mr. Greer.
And it was
authorized by the zoning inspector, who was
the zoning administrator and the county attorney.
Justin Schneider.
So he had to sign it too.
Yep.
Yep. Which is
And the reason for the warrant was to go onto the property and take pictures.
to take pictures. To take pictures.
Oh, the Mudbog.
Now, I was at the property, and it's not like there's a big tree buffer on this property. I think those pictures most likely could have been taken from the road.
Right.
Of course, the warrant the warrant was sealed for 56 days. It's open now to inspection. We just haven't done it yet, I don't believe.
Okay.
No. It's something we're working towards.
But you know, I think, Tab, the corollary on this whole situation is that the county attorney, along with the zoning supervisor and the zoning commission not knowing what these 2 folks were doing, because they admitted that they didn't know what was going on. The county board of commissioners did not know that the county zoning board had authorized something for the zoning administrator to have the county attorney do. And the county board went back to the zoning commission, and they didn't know that the county board didn't know that the county prosecutor and the zoning administrator had initiated a lawsuit based on county zoning. So you got the right hand and the left hand. Now usually my right hand knows what my left hand is doing, especially when I'm using a knife and I'm spending money.
That kind of explains the comment that we, at the county level, had very little knowledge of a mud bog.
That seemed to be the case everywhere we've went, you know. After it was brought up to the county board the first time in, I believe it was May, you know, we have no knowledge, you know, we know a little bit about it. Now, back in May of 2010, there was, in the minutes, going through the minutes, there was a brief spout that there was a complaint about the mud bogs. And
You looked at your file. How many complaints are in your file?
Well,
1 complaint in your file.
1 complaint is in this file.
Approximate year, do you have that?
2010, I have that right here. April of 2010, right here's the original complaint.
I understand there were a few complaints about the mud bogs that they were having at the county fairgrounds for noise, if I'm not mistaken. Is that correct?
I haven't heard too much. I've heard a few people complain through town that, well, we were there till 1 o'clock in the morning, you know, I mean, it was a big event, you know, at the county fair. It was a real big event that, you know, they come to us and said, look, you know, the fair's not doing real hot this year, you know, we need to change things. So, you know, just like we do at my place or anywhere else, we group together and, you know, we try to help out.
That was a well-attended event. I was in the stands.
We raised more money that night than anything else at the fairgrounds did all week. So that was a good statement right there.
Back here to the timeline, I'm real concerned with why we have such a lapse in time between the last correspondence and then the actual...
Between 2010 2013.
Yeah.
Right.
What would have initiated, what would have brought it back to life after all that time?
We're still trying to investigate that. The only thing
We have no idea.
That's right here, that police report. I Deputy Goss.
Okay.
You know, that was...
Then you had the meeting where they wanted more money to rezone, which under the Right to Farm Act, land patents, etc., they're just really not showing where they have any jurisdiction. They can't show the jurisdiction.
They haven't even
It's the plaintiff that has the initiative to show that the defendant is wrong. So far, with everything that Kelly has presented, is that we've showed them where they're wrong. They haven't shown us where we're wrong. So if we're wrong, if we're not wrong, we're still standing. We're still right. There is not one bit of law that this county has shown in any of their paperwork to refute any of the documents or any of the congressional acts of Congress. And I guess the county may think that they have more power than Congress because they can say that what Congress had to say doesn't mean anything. I think that's bull.
Doesn't apply anymore.
It just doesn't apply.
No, what really concerns me is September 5th, our attorney had talked with Jacobson, the county attorney. And I guess obviously our zoning administrator, Justin Snyder, basically they come up with what they wanted for settlement terms. This is all we've ever gotten out of these guys as far as settlement terms, or even talking settlement, is a permit.
They want a permit.
Yeah, gotta ask permission. That's...
There you go, permit. What is that? For permission. So they want to ask. Now let's think about that. Obviously, the question is the activity on the property, and that must be, must be negative to them. But you can go ask them for permission to continue the activity.
Oh yeah, yeah. Now see, they haven't come up with a number on the permit yet, how much that's going to cost. Now, in looking through the file through the zoning department, which is free for anybody to go look at, they'll gladly hand it to you. It's probably sitting on the filing cabinet still, right where it is every time I go in there. There's a little sticky note that says $971, and that's the only number amount all the way through that file.
So it means if you're going to take a permit, you're going to have a contract, which means you would have to follow exactly what the government said.
Yep.
Okay, so when you file that, or when you follow that contract and the government wrote the contract, you got to be pretty careful because the government wrote it.
Exactly.
Isn't that correct? Am I understand this correctly? Like even when we do a building permit or a trades permit, you're actually just a permission slip to apply for a contract with your government, but you never get to see the actual contract.
You never get to see the underlying contract that goes with it. That's just the application for it. They won't show it to you because they don't have it. They don't have it. It's a scheme. It's just a money-raising scheme. How do we make more money for the county?
Well, since our county's in a financial disaster right
Everybody
now.
at that level unless we're out of money at the county level.
Oh, they are. They are.
Which brings you back to why they would continue on so vehemently to carry on this aggression. Well, there's really nothing to gain out of it.
You know, and see, that's just the first line. You see the aggression. You know, no overnight camping allowed.
Honestly, because I have a small piece of property here, and if I wanted family members and friends to come over and camp for a week, I surely wouldn't want to go to the county and ask their permission if they could camp here.
I guess that's what we're looking at is the county.
If you signed that contract, that's what you'd be tied to. So why would I sign a contract that's repugnant to things that everybody does? They have weddings at homes, they have graduations at homes, and hundreds of people attend some of these graduations.
There's lots of home churches too.
Right?
Absolutely.
You know, and see, parking controls, parking off-road only. It's a secondary road all the way around us. There's no law that states you can't park on the side of a road. There's no parking.
It's just like the rest of this, Kelly. They've been unable to show any law that refutes anything that you have said so far.
No, like
None.
the hours of activity, okay? That we've already, that's kind of been established. We're done long before dark. You know, we're not really even, you don't really even hear a truck start till about noon, you know? So, I mean, if the neighbor's got a hangover on a Saturday, we ain't bothering them. You know, we try to be respectful. We're always done long before dark. We like to clean up, have dinner, you know, and then just hang out the rest of the night. Which obviously with no camping, go drive down the road after having a beer.
Well, we shouldn't be doing that, right?
No, you know, and everybody, obviously you talk to Mike Shea, nobody's been arrested coming out of their drunk driving. Everybody has drivers, everybody's being responsible.
Yeah.
So once again, there's no issue here. There's no criminal
So
activity.
there's no criminal activity, we don't have anything in a file that shows any criminal activity, there's been no charges made.
Right.
This is basically just, what would you call it? It's just,
I would like to say it's just a frivolous lawsuit to collect money
Maryland
to show that we, the county, have control over everybody in this county, and it's all about the control. And it's got to stop. It's not that I'm against county government or state government, because we do need that. But that control that is being placed, which is absolutely ridiculous in most cases. There's no malice aforethought in what they do. And they don't have an idea of what property rights are, and they don't seem to care. As long as they get their money, that's all they want.
Yeah, well, it's more than that, because open for inspection by zoning official. Oh, but it says etc. What's etc. on that one?
Add more public.
So they're gonna add whoever to
Fire
that list to
costs
have
that
it.
too.
Right, you know, I mean, they're just gonna give everybody permission to go wander on my land and inspect it, you know, I mean, they pretty much did right here.
Even Sheriff Shea has said in meetings that we've talked with him, that the county sheriff does not have jurisdiction without a warrant on private property. So where does this zoning commissioner and this guy Jacobson get off telling the county how to spend money? I just don't understand.
Or telling a property owner what to do, you know, with his land. You know, I mean, some of the stuff is understandable and has been addressed over the years. You know, just like buffer areas from the neighbors. We've been working on those for years. You know, we're actually in the process right now of building a new buffer hill, or berm, as you will,
Yep.
behind the remaining neighbor.
That's just to block some of the view.
Yeah, just to block all the view. You know,
Evidently that
all
neighbor's
this.
having an issue with the activity.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you, Taff, I've never had more fun in my life getting dirty than I did when we've been out
To the Muslim.
to the box.
You know,
It's a good time.
it's a family ordeal. I mean, we've been to, my family's and friends have been to a lot of bogs scattered across the state. Every spot you go is different. It's a different environment. Some are environments for your family and kids, you know, and Others are not suitable for,
Sure.
you know, right, even me at my age. But, you know, I mean,
But you take
it's,
it by a case basis.
right, right.
We shouldn't all be fun. That's another thing I have to get back to is, it seems like, you know, if I'm mistaken, I apologize, but it seems like what they're trying to do is go after some human activity that they don't approve of, but use zoning to pretty much outlaw.
Right, they're kind of
What's
using
like in
zoning
general?
as a deputy, if, as you will. It's like a police force right now.
Soft arm of the law.
Right. And, you know, it's not right on all kinds of,
So if you
Field too.
consent, and they may or may not grant, you know, permission to do that activity on your property, say they say no. What if they had a countywide mudbog ban? You know, every individual property owner now is falling prey to that tyranny. When I say tyranny, I mean it's strictly, exactly how I say it, that's tyranny. If you think of it this way, that's how I look at it. It's like we elect county commissioners to represent us at the county level. And we hold them accountable through elections, and we want to have that two-way conversation like we will with any state rep. But what they've done is they've taken our authority that we've granted them, we've consented to them, they've handed it off to a bureaucratic board. And I mean bureaucratic, because these people are not elected. They're handpicked, and they're supposed to be nonpartisan, but nonetheless, we put that authority into an unelected board, and they give them complete authority to handle this situation up to and including an aggressive litigation.
oh yeah.
And nobody yet that I've been around, and you've been, you know, obviously closer to this situation than I have, but when I've been up there, no one admits to being responsible for this activity, for this aggression.
Right.
To me, that's tyranny. That's soft tyranny, and that'll lead to real tyranny if we're not standing up for our rights now.
Right. And let's actually look at where whose lap this falls on. Because, you know, I've been doing a lot of research into, you know, how do you fight this? What level do you fight this? Do you fight it at the township? Do you fight it at the county? Do you fight it at the state? And in my situation, it's kind of different. My township pays the county to implement zoning out in our township. And they pay a fee of $3,500 a year. We've got the whole contract, we FOIA'd that too.
Okay.
And we're talking with my township board,
What do they think?
we pay them. What are you doing here? You know, they don't want nothing to do with it.
Well, if they lose, it's going to cost them a lot of money. They don't have it.
Right.
They need to be really sure what they're doing here. They're using our public money, and our public trust, and our public name. You know, Glavin County, Glavin County's you. Glavin County's you.
Yeah.
That's
Choose
me.
you, buddy.
I didn't give them permission to make this lawsuit over personal private property. I think it's crazy.
You know, and see, when it all falls down, doing the research that I had to do is I had to go to the county level because we have county zoning. So start dealing with the county commissioners, and you know, they knew nothing. And to be honest, I think it's been a good educational experience back and forth between us and the commissioners, because they see what's going on, and you know, whether they're lying or not, we have no way to know. Because
I think it's deliberately misleading would be politically correct today.
you know, we've set out after every document that would have started this case. Even the neighbor says, I haven't complained since 2010. So why is Deputy Goss writing a police report about a Mudbog? You know, that's where I see it start.
So,
And our commissioners, you know, I showed them this packet. This is my research. Your responsibilities as a county commissioner. This shows, no matter how you research it, they're responsible for the defense and prosecution in the county name. So whether this paper right here for the summons and complaint that originated off that police report has the county attorney's name, the county judge Roy Mink's name, or like the search warrant, the magistrate's name,
It has to be authorized by the county. And who
had to be
the
authorized.
County Commission.
county commission. I hold
By
them
these
fully
guys.
responsible
Yeah.
for this.
Oh, I do too, utterly and fully. And you know, I think they've woken up a little bit to it. There's been talks about, you know, they're gonna have a vote here soon to do away with county zoning.
Excellent.
It'll be a year process, you know, once they have the vote and everything. I'm pretty sure they're gonna vote it out.
This has to be a local issue, it has to be handled at the smallest local level we could possibly take
Right.
it to. That's where your voice level, and even higher to the state level, it just diminishes our voice as individuals. And we-
It does.
So I think it should go back, if there's gonna be any zoning, it should be at the township level, and then you could fight at the township level. with your
We
voice.
shouldn't have boards like these planning commissions. And you
No,
know,
a good point was brought up with these planning commissions. And they have authority, right? Where they have authority.
Where they
That's
have,
something,
where they have authority.
that's
They have
something we
authority.
did learn, you know,
Right.
is that these people have authority in the public domain. And we could probably describe the public domain as
Being county property.
county property.
Or property that's owned, or where they have a monetary or contractual interest. If they have a contract with ABC, then they have authority to oversee what they contracted for. But if they don't contract with me, they have no authority over me.
So these people need to meet once a month and just zone like crazy at the courthouse, the county building, any county property, zone like crazy and address those issues, please. So,
oh, and see, I think we're still in the process of voting for these guys not to even have a meeting. Even before this, they were talking about only coming in at
when they're-
chair commissioner's request.
That'd be
You know,
smart. Why even do
Now,
that?
now these people in this planning commission, let's talk about that for a second. They get paid to be at these meetings. They get paid for every meeting to go to. Their time is money. It may be a little, it may be a lot. I've heard different talks. I didn't FOIA request, none of that. So whatever that may be is, you know, still a little bit of money that we're already hurting in the county. But we were asked to turn in a memorandum of understanding when this first got brought to the county commissioners back in May. And they says, get us this, let's get this over and done with, you know. And we said, all right. It was about a week later, we got one into them. And they just basically, we sat at the meeting, oh, it's going to the planning commission. Now, the commissioners are asking for something that they're gonna turn over to another board. Now, the planning commission is made up of appointed people. We do not elect these people. It's somebody that's on the commissioners that we do elect, say, you are on this commission.
Before
That's
this issue, I didn't know we had a planning board.
Neither did I. Be honest.
We shouldn't have one.
We shouldn't have one, I agree.
No.
It's a waste
I think
of
the
time
county
and money.
commissioners should be doing that work, if they're
Yes.
gonna do it at all.
Yes. Well, see, and that's the thing. You know, why is there so much control? If you're gonna take something as sensitive as lawsuit documentation or something to end a lawsuit as the memorandum of understanding, something that's sensitive, and turn it over to an appointed board.
You forget, Kelly, the Board of Commissioners, when they got that memorandum of understanding, it was never turned over to them.
Right.
They never got it.
That's true.
They didn't even know about the lawsuit. Which is,
Well, one of them
again,
did.
it
One of
goes
them
back
did.
to something
Either way.
that's really amazing.
Right. And either way, they did know. I mean, at least one of the planning commissioners had to know, seeing as how he is a county commissioner.
He wears
Dennis
two hats,
Carl.
right?
Well, he wears more than two. He's on the fair board. He's got his hands
But nonetheless,
on everything.
there was certainly a very straight and open conduit from the county commission to the
Yeah.
planning board.
Yeah.
I saw that when I
There's a
said-
big communication problem going on through our courthouse and through our whole local government right now. And we're starting to really see that with this case. It's because nobody knows. You know, the left hand don't know what the right hand's doing here. You know, we got a serious problem. And it's more than just the money issues we're having right now.
Well, we're certainly going to follow this closely, and we're certainly going to be FOIAing how much it's going to cost the county, seeing how we don't
Yes.
have a whole lot of money to work with anyway. I really think they should be throwing it out. It's a ridiculous fight. We don't want it. I mean, maybe a few, but I
Well, to
just
have
think
the
it's...
county have an open-ended contract such as we're gonna pay a retainer and then everything after, there's nothing after pre-trial. I mean, ain't that kind of scary?
So we don't know what we're getting into.
There's no set increments on how much a person can charge for that. I mean, the county attorney's pretty much gotten a blank check at that point. I mean, there's no hourly rate attached to it.
Back to the case, we're hoping we're gonna get some kind of mediation, we come to an agreement outside of court, that'd be best for everyone.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
But your defense really lies on jurisdiction. That's what we've been hearing. It's all about jurisdiction. Does the county have jurisdiction on not only patented property, but just private property in general? How could they?
They don't have, they can't show that they have. The federal government did not give them jurisdiction to do certain things. It's under color of law. It's an overstep of statutory authority that our legislators have put together. It's a lack of real training and real understanding by the Board of Commissioners, by folks that are sitting on these commissions that have never even read the laws. They have no idea what's going on. They don't even know what the legislative law says and where it applies. So it's an overreach of statutory authority. It's a scheme to collect additional money. It's a scheme to control people and to control every part of their lives.
And wouldn't you blame the wording of these, the zoning, countywide zoning, wouldn't you blame to some degree that on NGO organizations, non-governmental organizations writing these plans for us? And then telling these unelected boards what they can and cannot do in regards to personal private property. I know a man that was involved in a planning session, higher up session, who he was told point blank from the stage, on the podium, that people only think they own their land, that actually, the state owns the land and they pay rent. And the guy was totally serious about it. It was a planning, some kind of consortium of planners. And he was just going and getting that idea into their head that we don't own our own property and that they have control over the property.
Well, it's when you hear, Tab, when you hear so often that you have to do this, you have to do this, you have to do that, you have to do that. And you're lied to and lied to and lied to. If somebody comes and tells you the truth, in black and white, that shows what the truth is, and can substantiate that truth, who's the liar? It becomes us.
Yeah.
We're the liars then. When you're lied to so many times, that seems to be the truth, but when you're told the truth, you become the liar.
Hard to digest.
That's true.
So we go back to jurisdiction. We have a sample of a land patent here, and there's some wording there that's interesting. And we talked about this before, there's a small repeat. But if you look at a patent of land, the land of Michigan came from Virginia. When the state was formed, it went to the federal government, and then it was patented back to individuals. And this would be a contract with our president at the time to the landholder. This one happens to be Horace Thurber, back in 1855. And the wording's interesting. If you look at, if I can find where it starts. Now know ye that the United States of America, in consideration of the premises and in conformity with the several acts of Congress, that's very important to hear.
That's very important.
In such case made and provided, have given and granted, those are very large letters, and by these presents do give and grant unto the said Horace Thurber and his heirs the said tract above described, to have and to hold the same together with all the rights, privileges, immunities, and appurtenances of whatsoever nature thereunto belonging unto the said Horace Thurber and his heirs and assigns forever.
I didn't read Gladwin County in there at all.
Not at all, but that was by Franklin Pierce, our President of the United States. So that would be a contract.
And it was authorized by whom? By the Congress.
Acts of Congress. And
And it
then,
doesn't say Gladwin County, it doesn't say Gladwin Township in there. It says heirs and or assigns. You're an assign, I happen to be an assigned our property.
if you happen to have one of these handy that you should carry around you like every day, next to your Bible, maybe underneath it, but if we go to Article 1, Section 10, this is where the county would be interfering with contracts. And it says, just put my glasses back on because I'm going blind. no state shall pass any bill or law impairing the obligation of contracts. Article 1, Section 10.
So that means, right, very, very distinctly, that they can't, the county of Gladwin cannot step in between a contract signed by the President of the United States and the assignee, or they're in violation of the law. I mean, that's pretty simple, but, you know,
We all know
simple
this is-
people know simple things, and those that are really learned and have gone to school and have been taught all these rules and regulations forgot one simple thing. Contract 101, Constitution stands, treaties stand. The government is there to uphold our rights and
Individual
to
rights.
watch over our individual rights. And in this case, I would say that, just being a simple man, that if they're stepping in between a contract, they're breaking the law, they are stepping against the Constitution that they swore an oath to uphold, and that is abominable.
Another interesting article, or amendment, Amendment 14, you should get out your Constitution. All persons born or naturalized in the United States and subject to the jurisdiction thereof are citizens of the United States and of the state wherein they reside. No state shall make or enforce any law which shall abridge the privileges or immunities of citizens of the United States, nor shall any state deprive any person of life, liberty, or property without due process of law. Well, you're in it. Due process. They're gonna have to decide how they're gonna prove that they have jurisdiction on your property.
We're 6 months in and, right? Or 12 to go. I don't see,
Freedom isn't free, and this
Yeah.
really shows that it isn't.
you know, and let's look at another aspect here. You know, I mean, I'm pretty calm and collective at this point on it all, but this is still costing.
Oh,
This ain't just costing us from the taxpayers. This costs me, my family. You know, here we're coming into Christmas time, holiday season,
property.
winter, the most expensive months of the year. You know, I mean, and
Property rights are all we've got left. A free society needs to be able to maintain their own private, personal private property. It was Calvin Coolidge, he had a quote, I remember from the last video we did. Personal property and personal rights are the same thing. They're synonymous.
yeah,
So,
you know, and
if
if
we
you
don't
can't own property, you
you
are
are
property.
property. And that was, what was that guy's name? Rancher and property rights activist Wayne Hage. Yes, that was good. Well, we're gonna watch this closely. We're gonna keep you guys updated. Every time there's correspondence, we'll do something more. We've got a wonderful blog going. It'll be listed at the bottom of this video. You should check it out. We'll keep you all updated on this. And remember to stand up for your rights. Learn what they are, and we're all in this together. Thank you.